Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving back into Rust. And you might be wondering why. Well, it's all because I'm waiting for the console release of ARK Survival Ascended because my PC isn't quite up to par to play it right now. But anyway, I'm determined to give Rust another shot and see if I could find the same enjoyment that many of you have while playing it. My last Rust attempt, let's just say it wasn't pretty, and I was quite vocal about my preference for ARK. If you missed that video, be sure to check it out for some context. So, without further ado, let's get right into my second Rust experience as an ARK player. This time around, I decided to change things up by hopping into a smaller clan server. Many of you suggested in the comments of my previous video that my choice of server might have contributed to my tough start. So, with high hopes of a better experience and a small starter kit, I spawned in. I started walking around getting materials when I took my eyes off the screen for a second and this happened.
Okay, I was texting people, so this game is so unbelievably bad. Why did I come back?
Determined, I respawned and soon found a horse to claim as my trusty steed.
That's
right after that, I checked if there were any kits I could claim. There were, and I claimed the daily one.
Daily kit.
I rode around for a short while when I saw where I wanted to build. I figured building on a hill would be better because it would be harder to get to and raid.
Where would that be?
I struggled with the bad building system for a bit because nothing was snapping to where I wanted it to, which I guess is something that ARK and Rust have in common. But after some trial and error, my base was ready. However, there was one problem. I had no idea what I should make and put in my base.
What can I make?
I ended up making a furnace and a fire pit and then left to get some scrap to make a workbench, which would allow me to craft more advanced things. While doing that, I came across this wooden box. I couldn't figure out how to break in, so I gave up and decided I would come back later. After that, I had a thought.
Can I kill a horse?
And then I had to put it to the test.
I don't think so. Oh! I can. Okay.
I came across a fishing village where this happened.
Oh! What? Okay.
I did not know that if I was considered hostile, I would get killed immediately by turrets, and I ended up going back and having to wait for my hostility thing to go away so I didn't die again. I explored the village a bit, but it didn't have anything for me, so I left.
Where's the ammo coming?
Back at my base, I crafted the workbench and placed it backwards, facing the wall. I then went outside to get some resources.
There's a person outside of my home. I'm supposed to be here.
After killing that man, I got some more materials, and when I got back, I heard this. I killed him too, and sat in my base until I heard someone else. I held an angle looking out my windows and waited.
Peek it. Played too much Valorant. Yes, sir.
After that eventful night, I left to get more scrap to make a workbench level 2. I ended up making it and putting it in my house the right way this time. And with this new workbench, I made a piano, but just like last time with the guitar, I had no idea how to play it, so I stopped. I made some final upgrades to my base by adding a bunch of doors, which I thought would make it harder to get through my base if someone broke in. And then I got off for the night with the plan of raiding that small wooden box in the morning. I woke up the next day excited to prep for my first raid. However, to my surprise, I got raided. The worst part is, they destroyed my whole house and took pretty much everything I had, but they didn't kill me. I was left with nothing but a few weapons, and honestly, this made me feel insulted. Why didn't they just kill me? I wasn't going to let that stop me, though. I claimed this Halloween kit, which gave me a bunch of armor and more Halloween-themed things, and then I decided to build in a different area this time, and quickly found another horse and set out to explore. On my journey, I came across this weird blue door, and when I went inside, this happened.
Yo.
When I was leaving, I started to get shot at and then chased by a polar bear.
That's a polar bear.
I somehow managed to escape, and after the weirdest 30 seconds of my life, I was back on the hunt for a new base location. I eventually found a spot and set up a small box base with a watchtower. This area was also on a hill that was even taller, so I felt safer here. I ran around getting materials for a while and managed to upgrade my full base to stone. I needed low-grade fuel to make a furnace, so I went out to get some animal fat. I ended up killing a bear and then made the furnace and another workbench. This is when I realized that I just wasn't having fun. I didn't want to get materials anymore. I wanted excitement and action, so I quit the server right then and there. I joined another server with a 1,000,000 times multiplier next, which means that everything from gathering to loot drops is super boosted and has really good stuff. I assumed that it would be action-packed, which was what I wanted. Sure enough, I was right. The second I spawned in, I died.
That's cool.
I spawned in again and claimed a combat kit, which gave me a bunch of guns, ammo, and armor. This time I put a hollow scope on my AK instead of the 8x scope because I got flamed in the comments on my last video. With these weapons, I went around looking for my first victim, and eventually I found them. I stalked them for a bit, and then I decided to attack. I got a sniper from their body and was eager to use it. However, that dream was put down when someone snuck up behind me and killed me. I spawned in again and ran around pretty much aimlessly for the next 15 minutes until this guy jump scared me in the woods and killed me. Spawned in again and wanted to raid a base. I started shooting rockets at this base I found until I ran into the same problem I had last time. They had 2 doors, and I was out of rockets. I hid in their airlock while waiting for my kits to refresh so I could get more rockets when this happened.
How did he know?
Luckily, I respawned close by and managed to kill him. I once again waited until I saw this. A bunch of planes dropping supply drops. I figured that it would have been good loot, so I raced to get one. Somehow, I didn't die and managed to get some good stuff from it. However, while running away, I got shot at and then died to someone else.
Stop. Oh, there's people there.
After this, I was tired of dying and not having a place to spawn, so I went to make a base. I made this very tight and compact base where I felt pretty safe because the entire thing was armored and made of metal instead of stone like last time. Now that I had a base, I wanted to go and raid people, which is exactly what I did. I raided my first base, which really didn't have anything for me, and while looking for my second base to raid, I found another blue door. This time I went through it with no problem and got some decent loot. With the sniper that I got, I tried to kill this man that I saw standing on top of his house. I killed him and immediately went to raid his base. While blowing through all of his doors, I saw that he was waiting for me and managed to kill him again. I felt a bit bad because he said he built the base 10 minutes ago, but I eventually raided his whole base and took everything valuable that he had. After I left, I saw this wooden base that I just needed to raid. After many failed attempts, I managed to blow his base up completely and it turned into dust. It had nothing for me though, and I left. I got back to my base and tried to figure out how to power some turrets that I got. Don't ask me how, but I eventually got them to work. No, like seriously, I have no idea what I did. After that, I went to find another base. That's when I walked into an actual war zone. There were mortars being fired, people shooting everywhere, and sure enough, I died. That's when I realized that I just wasn't having fun. I guess I like the more casual style of playing ARK, and in ARK, if I get bored of farming, there are many other things I can do.